Hi, and welcome to Reading with Ms. Momo. I'm so glad that you could join me today. We got Halloween coming up, and so I want to read you some Halloween books for the next week. I probably will read several, and I hope that you would check out my YouTube channel and the videos I've done before in years past on Halloween. Right now, I'm going to read you one that's really unique, and I've not read it before, so I hope that you enjoy this book about a Halloween scare. Join me now as I read. A Halloween Scare in Mississippi, written by Eric James, illustrated by Marina. And look, the witch is going over the state capitol in Jackson, Mississippi. Prepare, if you dare, for a night full of thrills. The time Mississippi gave everyone chills. A tale filled with sights that are best left unseen. You ready? You sure? This was my Halloween. And here is Jackson, the capital of Mississippi. And look, he's scared. There was something that happened that was very scary. Let's see what it is. Look at his expression. The werewolves howled loudly. The moon shone so bright. I stayed in my bedroom, the curtains shut tight. My heart started pounding. My knees felt so weak. But being a brave kid, I had to peek. Hear the werewolves howling and the bats. And there's the flag. And look at him peeking out the window. I pulled back the curtains, my mouth opened wide. An army of monsters had gathered outside. They staggered and stumbled and lurched down the streets with bags full of cookies and candy corn treats. Emerging from sewers and houses and stores came creatures and critters with ravenous roars. Then more came along from all over the state. They filled up the streets at the dizzying rate. And here they are, all the monsters are coming out. It's a spooky, spooky night. From Oxford and Greenville and Biloxi too, a mountain of monsters, the motleyest crew, all gathered together for one spooky night to seek out the living and give them a fright. The thunder clapped loudly with terrible booms. The witches dodged lightning and clung to their brooms. The two-headed doggies tried chasing their tails, and banshees let loose with their hideous wails. The vampires hung out on the street in their gangs and grinned just to show off their pearly white fangs. The mummies moaned loudly and swayed side to side, while Frankenstein stomped about town with his bride. And there's Frankenstein and his bride. It said, just married in Mississippi. And here are all these scary creatures going all around in the towns in the state of Mississippi. Mississippi is where I live. The phantoms from Clarksdale were playing the blues and singing sad songs about paying their dues. Their instruments dripped with some weird kind of ooze, which ruined their lovely blue suede cover shoes. Some big scary ogres arrived in the night, determined to give everybody a fright. They climbed the magnolias, hid out of view. They jumped down to scare passerbyers with a boo. There they are in the magnolia tree. The magnolia tree is the flower. Magnolia is the flower for the state of Mississippi. The creepies were crawly, the crazies were crazed, the Tupelo zombies had eyes that were glazed. The Hattiesburg ogres were ugly as sin, with big bulging noses and warts on their chins. The ghouls danced around but were lacking in soul. The gargoyles could rock and the headless could roll. Although the whole spectacle seemed to spell doom, I foolishly thought I'd be safe in my room. And here are all the scary creatures having a grand night in all the different towns of Mississippi. But then something happened that made my heart jump. From somewhere below me, I heard a big thump. I froze for a moment, as quiet as a mouse. Yes, I could hear noises from inside the house. I put on my slippers and pulled on my robe. I shook like a leaf, but I don't think it showed. Then slowly but surely, I crept down the stairs, preparing myself for the biggest of scares. My hands trembled wildly. I opened the door. I still shudder now at the horrors I saw. The stereo spat out some hideous sounds as dozens of monsters jumped madly around. He opened the door and they're the monsters. I think that they're doing the monster dance. The monster mash is what I think they were doing. What do you think they were doing? The sight was horrific. It made my skin crawl. These monsters were having a Halloween ball. And look, there's one monster with I Love Mississippi t-shirt. And right in the middle, one monster loomed tall, the hairiest, scariest monster of all. And there he is. While they're rocking out at their Halloween ball, doing the monster mash. He turned around and saw me. I fell to my knees. I'm not very tasty, so don't eat me, please. He beamed into ear and broke free from the huddle, ran over and gave me a big monster cuddle. Look, there he is. He's giving him a cuddle. He didn't scare him. He gave him a cuddle. He hugged him. At last, we have found you, he said with a smile. From Natchez to Corinth, we've looked for a while. We came here to give you your wonderful prize. He held up a trophy in front of my eyes. A prize? And for me? I replied with a grin. But what did I enter and how did I win? You've won the first prize for the costume you're wearing. It even scares me, and I'm tip-top at scaring. So he got a prize for his costume. This isn't a costume. I'm just dressed as me. Exactly. The scariest thing you can be. A small human child with a cute button nose. Your teeth are so shiny, you've only 10 toes. No hair on your face, no horns on your head. The whites of your eyes are not glowing or red. A bone-chilling costume, a horrible sight. A worthy ensemble for Halloween night. And there he is with his trophy, his slippers and his robe, and there's the monster that says, I love Mississippi, that gave him the prize. We paired together until the moon set, a Halloween night I'll never forget. And the next year I won't want to hide in my bed. The monsters won't scare me. And there they all are inside having a party, having their Halloween ball inside of his house now. I'll scare them instead. And he puts a flashlight up to his face to look real scary. But he doesn't have on a scary costume. I hope that you enjoyed that story about places in Mississippi and about a little boy who didn't wear a costume. He was just himself. He wore his robe, he wore his slippers, and he was just being himself. That's what we need to be. We get the best prize. We get the best rewards when we're just ourselves, when we don't try to be somebody else that we're not. But on Halloween, I know that you wear masks. I know that you wear costumes and dress up so that you can go trick-or-treating. But in real life, just be yourself and don't be afraid. all through the Bible, it tells you, do not be afraid, because God is bigger than any fear that you might have. So when you feel afraid, just pray. Just remember that God is there to help you through the tough times. This little boy learned not to be afraid, and that he didn't have to wear a costume or scary outfit to win the prize. We can win the prize by just being ourselves and loving other people and being kind and humble. I hope this Halloween you'll remember these things, and I hope all over Mississippi people are having a happy holiday week this week. Until we meet again, smile and be happy. God bless.